Hi everyone, this is Stefano from SottoZen channel and welcome to this second part of my character animation tutorial. What I have here is this acrobatic movement, and let me switch back the overlay option here. And you see here I just duplicate this collection, and in the second one I have the same character, only I deleted all the animation from the armature. Essentially now all the parameters has been resetted in scale, rotation and position. So before I start animating this from scratch, I will use this first collection that I can check for reference. So what is useful, at least in my opinion, and I want to remember here that I'm not able to show you how to animate. I'm just trying my best to share with you how I animate, but you have to understand that all my experience is totally self-made. So remember that animation is art. Of course there are rules to be aware of, but like painting, drawing or sculpting is more about expressing yourself, your art. A good animator is someone who can observe real life, and then regardless of the software that we are using, he can put his observation into his job. I think that my job is to make you believe that if this little green alien guy here would exist, he would jump in this way. So in this case, what I am trying to underline here is that I am just trying to follow some arc trajectory. You see that I know that all this acrobatic movement is following some sort of arc, 1 and 2 arc, a bigger one and a smaller one. Okay? And also I know that I will need this preparing position in order to store the energy for the actual jump, and then this floating moment in the middle here that we can a little bit exaggerate this because we are in the cartoonish way of storytelling, and then we will speed up the falling down, the upside down bouncing, and then back again on our feet on the floor. Okay, so this will be the moments that I will try to redo from scratch. So let's go back to the first frame and let's start animate. Okay, let's start by hiding and the animated collection and unhide the new one. I select the skeleton and I enter pose mode, and for the first stage of this animation I will just try to use these 5 basic controllers: the feet, the hands and the chest controller bone. And because I know that I will have to both rotate and translate this object, I will press I and insert a location and rotation for each one of them. You can see that the first keyframes are just appeared in my graph editor. Each one of these controlling object has their own location, X, Y, Z, and the quaternion rotation keyframes in place. So let's go now ahead maybe 6 or 5 or 6 frames, and I can start moving down my character body and then select both the ends, and I think something like this. And then once again I can select, press I, and I can both choose to use location and rotation or available. I like to use the available option because in this case it doesn't change, but later when I have more than one controller and some of them will be animated only on rotation, some other both in rotation and translation, using the available option is a safe and fast way to do the right thing. So let's use available. And in this case, it will just add the next two rotation and location keyframe for all the 5 controller objects. So far we have just this. One thing that I like to do is to set the end frame very near to the point where I am ending the animation. So in this case, I think 15 frames is more than enough. So I can just press the space bar and have a loop showing me what I'm doing. So I think I will slow down a little bit this. Let's go to 20, and maybe I will add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames more, where I want to grab this, and using this median point pivot option, I will just try to continue the former action. Once again, available. So in this way I have the first action that is slowing down and reaching the rest position. One thing that I have to add to the animation is the eyes, because I like to see them rotating in the right direction. It kind of gives me the mood of what's going on. So I will also use the eyes controller bones. So let's insert rotation at the first frame, and let's go down in something like this. Is okay. Okay, sometimes remember to switch off this overlay option here. I don't like this. I want to add more rotation to the second phase of this. This is way too much. It'll be better. Once again, I remember you all the fingers, many details are missing, but I just want to be a little bit faster during this tutorial, so I will speed up a little bit my animation process. Let me add some frames, and then from this moment we have the actual jump, and I want to have in few frames a lot of movement. So I think 1, 2, 3 frames, and then I will move this to where the legs are fully extended, and a little bit in the inclination that I know it will follow the arc that we were talking earlier. So I also want to have the hands that are probably halfway here. Let's try this. And now I also need to mark the position for the feet. Let me see what's going on. Okay, and only for this moment I will also use these heel controllers, because they are really useful here. So in this moment I want this to be raised up, and the frame before I can reset the rotation pressing Alt and R. So far we have this. And I think we can add more movement to the hands. And also you see that the arc shape is broken by the head, so I need to rotate a little bit more the head. Okay. So now I think that I need 1, 2, 3, 4 frames to reach the highest position of the jump. So I will try selecting all the 5 controlling objects and just translating them and rotating somehow here. Probably I will have to tweak this later, but let's try this. And of course the hands has to be already here. And in the top view I can already adjust them and prepare them for the landing position. So I want them with the thumb on the inside. And once again I'll try to follow this arc shape. Once again the elbows are not in the correct position, but I will fix this later. So let's replace this keyframe, and you see that now it's not working quite well because the interpolation is linear. So what we need to do when this happens is to insert one middle way position for the hands, only for the location. Let me check. What I want to do now is to first of all, the heels controllers that we used for this moment only. After this we can reset again, and the feet, we want them to be more something like this. See? And finally I want also to adjust the eyes. When rotating the eyes I have to change the pivot point option to individual origins. So from here we also have one problem with the ends. Now I'll go back and fix this. Or let's do this now. 1 and 2. Also here we need middle position. Okay, let's go back to the eyes. 1, 2 and 3 frames. Rotation 1. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can also continue a little bit the rotation of the eyes. Okay, the next step is the floating moment, and for that once again I will select all the 5 basic controllers together, and I will try to exaggerate a little bit this pause in the air. So let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 frames. Let me go back to a median point. It's very important because if I now use the individual origin and I try to rotate, this is the behavior. So I have to go back median point, and now I can rotate. Okay, so let me go a little bit higher, and something like this. Of course, there will be a lot of tweaking also here in the graph editor, but you see that you can see that is more or less what I'm searching, because you see that there's some kind of speeding up here and then an easy slowdown on the curve, suggesting that we are doing probably in the right way. So this is what we have so far: preparing, jump, and then floating in the middle of the air. We are now about to animate the landing, so let's go ahead 4 frames and simply bring the character. And here is a little bit tricky, but let's start by inserting the location and rotation animation. And now what I will do is to box unselect all the keyframe handles except for the inside ones, that I will GX and move really close to the keyframes. In this way I will get a speeding up of the movement, and that's what I need, because this body is falling down, so it's accelerating. You don't have to slow down. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and this is now the tricky situation. If you remember, in the first part of this video I talked to you about the option in the RIGIFY of having the IK stretch value, and in this case is set to 1. This means that I can move the hands way longer than the bones length are, in order to obtain some sort of cartoonish effect. And in this case is very useful. Sorry, I'm not in the right place on the timeline. So 1 here. I want to have the hands longer, otherwise it would bump his head, and we don't want this. Okay, so let's rotate, align, and move the hand in order to reach the floor. Okay, we can also move a little bit more near. Later we will fix this area, and we can copy the pose and paste on the opposite hand the same position, pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl Shift V, and finally available, replace the keyframe. So this is what we have so far. So 1 and go. Oh, you see, this problem here is because sometimes when you copy and paste the rotation from one side to the other one, it simply doesn't work, because I think it's with the quaternions values. You have to redo this manually. Open this, hide the location that are fine, and just delete the rotation keyframes, and then to be sure of the orientation of the way of the rotation. So pay attention sometimes when dealing with the rig. This kind of issues are happening, but they are easily solved. So I think that now we are good to go. Only I have to select this and I want to have this in the same fashion of the others. So now the ends are working properly, but I don't like this. I need, I was saying, I need one, let's select both of the ends. I need one intermediate position, just to give me more the idea of the landing moment. And then this 1, 2, and then we need the body to continue in going down. If it can be maybe one frame later. Not sure, but let's try. I think it's more or less okay. What is missing here in the middle here? I want this to be more rotated. And this a little bit more here. You see that I'm trying to get some sort of bouncing spring effect. So this is the extended and the compressed version of the character. So here he has to be, is supposed to be compressed from its weight. Let me try to give one more frame and scale this. So now they are all I think 3 frames, they are too much. I want to try to reduce this space here. Yeah. Okay, let's start animate the bouncing back moment. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think we will have the legs extended, and then we can select all together, rotate, and translate. And the ends, they can be something like this. Available. So this is what we have so far, and only the ends are lifting up too soon. They have to stay. Let me frame. They have to stay on the floor. 1, 2, 3 frames longer. So I will select, copy, and paste the same frames. And what I want to have here is another sort of slowing down moment. So I think something like this. and in this probably we can have fit, move this a bit down. Okay, let's go ahead 3 frames more. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, and select all our controllers, and let's try to direct go to the landing final position. So I try to put the fit controllers on the floor, and once again here I will take advantage of the heel controllers to have more animation. So rotation, once again we just need 1 frame long action, and this I want the fit position to be more behind, and I can also scale on the x-axis. So we have this, can reach the floor 1 frame before. Yeah, maybe here they are supposed to be more compressed, and then they have to open in this way, and then they are reaching the ground. There's something bothering me, something here I don't like. Let me try to delay a little bit more this moment here. Means down, and maybe I can simply move 1 frame ahead the next legs position, something like this, and this. Okay, now we reach the contact position. Now first of all let's finally fix these heels, maybe 2 frames later this time, the rotation, and I want to scale this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 we can go here, and the 2 hands can also go there, and also they can go back to the relaxed rotation, something like this. And we can also animate, changing back to individual origins. We can also fix a little bit the eyes. I think that here we can insert a rotation, and this can be where he looks while he is landing, and then he can rise up a little bit his point of view. And finally 1, 2, 3, 4, I think we can rise up the body and bring back the ends, hopefully. it's very different from what let's try to compare what's going on here. Sorry, I can unhide the first one. This is very interesting to do. Okay, you see, it's more or less the same, but it's also different. Huh? I made the second jump a little bit slower and longer. Okay, but okay, I guess finally we can animate some sort of effect with the arms in order to bring them back to the rest position. So let's try something like this. Or I think that probably the problem is also this. Okay, so it gives a little bit now the idea that the hands are slowing down, and only I would add some rotation at the end. Okay, sorry, 1 2 3 4 5 6 frames. Let's go back. Oops. You see, this is why available is a smarter choice many times. 1 2 3 4 5 6. And then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 e 12. Did I just count in Italian? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay, available. Let me put more frames here. Oh, I don't like this. Too fast. Is a little bit. Okay. And now, of course, we miss the animation of the body that have to counter react the hands. So let's try to do a little bit this, and finally this, maybe a little bit too much. Oh, really too much. Okay, I think I'll stop here for this second part because it's probably more than half-hour video, and I really don't know if this is somehow useful for you guys. I really hope so, that you can somehow enjoy and learn something from this. But yeah, this is what we have so far, and what is missing is the details. Normally from this point I start to animate the shoulder, the elbow and knee controllers, and the fingers bone for even more detailed animation, and then of course the shape animation parts like the eyebrows or expression, for example. So I think that this is enough for this video. I really thank you so much. If you arrived this point, I really appreciate this. As always, I apologize for my basic English that sometimes fail me with the right words or expressions, but I really try my best to share with you my animation process during this video. Let me know, guys, what you think. Is it necessary to do another and last part where I go over the detailing animation and the shape animation? Yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you didn't do it yet. Also, don't forget to visit my main YouTube channel, SottoZen. And of course, feel free to write any kind of question you may have regarding this kind of process. I will be more than happy to try to answer you. Okay? Have a great day. Thanks for watching once again. This is Stefano from SottoZen channel. See you soon with another great video. Ciao!